What is going on, my friends? My name is Adam, otherwise known as Lord of Wolves 92, and today I've got my 5 top Destiny Item Manager tips and tricks for you so that you can get the most out of this app just like I do when you're playing Destiny 2. So starting with tip number 5, I have know your search commands. So in Destiny Item Manager, either from the app or from the web browser, you can go up to the search bar here and you can type in a string of commands to search for items and gear in your inventory, whether that be on your 3 characters or over in your vault. So let's say we want to look at some duplicate items that we have multiple copies of. We go is:dupe, and it's going to start to show us all of the weapons and gear in our inventory that we have multiples of, right? So all our armor, all of our weapons over here. Now you could also do is:dupe lower to look at duplicate items that are lower or equal to items that you have in your inventory. So if you're just trying to look for the lowest gear, get it out of here, dismantle it, get rid of it. That is how you can do that. You can also do things like is:titan to look at just Titan gear. So it even shows you the crown splitter here and then all my armor for my Titan. You could do things like is:exotic if you just want to look at some exotic gear. There's a whole bevy of commands that you can use, and to look for all of them, you can click this item here. This is the filters button. It's going to show you all the different filters you can use to search for and divide your gear up so that you can have an easier time of sorting out your inventory and an easier time of your item management. Click this inventory button to go back to the inventory screen. Alright, so moving on to tip number 4 would be get granular. And what do I mean by get granular? I mean when you're searching for gear, if you're trying to figure out what you should dismantle, what you should infuse, what you should make a loadout out of, use your search terms frequently. So, is:dupe, right? Let's say we want to look for some gear for our Titan that we want to compare and contrast with other gear. Well, here's dupe. Dupe's going to show us all of the duplicate weapons and armor, but we only care about Titan stuff. So we're going to do is:titan. So now we have 2 command prompts in the search bar, and it's just going to show us all of our Titan gear. Let's go even further. One more is gauntlets. All right, so now we can just see our Titan gauntlets and we can start comparing and contrasting them. How do we do that, you may ask? Well, it's very easy, my friend. Click on the item, click over here to the compare items button, and it's going to bring up all of the same items that you have here. I like to click on the defense to make sure that we have the higher defense on the left, lower defense going to the right. And then you can just use your mouse button, hover over the icons, and it'll show you what the perks are. If you pick a loadout that you like, you can come up here to tag item, click the drop down menu, mark it as keep, mark it as junk, so on and so forth. Eventually you'll be putting tags on almost all of your gear. What I like to do is do just this, get really granular, check out all the weapons and gear in my inventory, mark them all up. You can see I already have some keeps. I already have some infusion, which is the little lightning bolt badge. Okay, moving right along to tip number 5, I have use your infusion button. So once you've gotten really granular and you've checked out all your duplicate weapons and armor, if you have an item at 750 that you don't like the rep and rolls of, but you want to keep it because it's the highest level, what you can do is click on the item and then click the infusion button right over here in the bottom right corner of the item description, and Destiny Item Manager is going to pop up these very important items here. Now these weapons are going to be weapons that are lower than 750 that can be infused using the weapon you've selected. So these are all going to be kinetic weapons up here, but it's also right above that going to show me any duplicates of the weapon that I have here with the badges still on them. So you can see this wrong side of right I've marked as keep, but it's only 725. So once I click this window changes. So my 725 plus my 750 equals a 750 of the keep variant. So what do you do when you have all this information here? Well, you just click transfer. And what Destiny Item Manager is going to do is it's going to move the 2 weapons that you just selected onto your last played character or your active character. So if you have the game running right now, it would load it onto the character you're playing as. If the game is not loaded right now, it's going to put the weapons onto the character that you played last. So for me, it's my Titan. So you can see here, I have my 2 weapons here on my Titan. So next time I load up the game, I can just infuse my 750 into my 725. Now, when you infuse using duplicates, my friends, remember, you do not need enhancement cores to infuse duplicates. Say it again with me. You do not need enhancement cores to infuse duplicates, whether that be duplicate armor or duplicate weapons. Very handy feature. Make sure you're utilizing Destiny Item Manager to find your duplicates that are higher. Make sure you use your infusion button so that you're not wasting enhancement cores, bringing your weapons and gear up to the level that you need it to be. Moving right along to tip number 2 would be use the bulk tag feature. So bulk tag is tricky because it doesn't always show up on your screen. It would be in the search bar. What you have to do is you have to look for a tag first, or you have to use a search parameter first. So let's say I'm leveling up my hunter. I only want to keep gear on my hunter that is of the highest level. I don't care about anything else yet until I reach 750. So we're going to break this down is hunter, just like that. It's going to show me my quick fang plus all my hunter gear. Then we're going to go is armor, just like that, because we just care about armor right now. I'm going to go not exotic, because I want to keep exotics. Remember what I said about getting granular too? We want to put a whole bunch of these strings into here so that we can get really, really granular. And then we're going to go one more is dupe lower, right? So now you can see here that we've got some armor, some legs, some cloaks that are lower than another piece that we have in our inventory somewhere. Now, what do we do with that information? We go over here to the tag button, which is the bulk tag items. That's going to open up a drop-down menu, and then you can tag it all as junk. So it's going to mark all 3 items as junk. Very, very handy right there. Obviously, if you're playing with your character, you might have even more items that are tagged. But tip number two, bulk tag your items. Easy for infusion, easy for junking stuff. Another example would be Eververse. So Eververse is changing in the September expansion Shadowkeep, and maybe you want to make sure that you have all your Eververse gear dismantled and sharded so you can get all the bright dust, you can get the ornaments unlocked. You can use source Eververse, right? It's going to show you all the ships, sparrows, and shaders and ghost shells that you get from Eververse. And then I'm going to do not ghost, because I want to look at these ghosts and I want to make sure they don't have perks that I want to keep. Sparrows are cool, but once you get one sparrow with a really good roll on it, like this one here, it's got the transmat reloader, then you don't really need anything else. And if you can pull them from your collections without using bright dust come September, then I'm just going to dismantle these for the bright dust I get right now, especially with the moments of triumph and the triumph hall being a thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our bulk tag items as junk. There we go. They are all now tagged as junk items, ready to be dismantled when we get a chance. Now, how do we make sure that all of these junk items are moved onto the character we want them to be moved onto in order to junk them really easily? Well, we would do that by going to tip number 1, which is use the transfer search. So transfer search is one of the coolest things you can do on this app, and it basically takes your search parameters and it moves it all at once. So I'm not going to move these items just yet. In fact, I'm going to clear them. We're going to clear it just like that, so it takes the junk, the status off of them. What we're going to do, tag infuse. So we show all my infusion, so you can see I've already gone through previously and checked infuse on a lot of my weapons and my armor. And what we're going to do now that we have that information is move it all to the vault. Now what you can do is you can move them one at a time like this, just drag and drop, and it, Destiny Item Manager does a good job of it. It's pretty fast. But you can also just click the drop down for the vault, go over here to the magnifying glass where it says transfer search, click that button there, and it's going to automatically filter and move all of your items to the area you chose. So all 30 items have been transferred to your vault. And so what you can do there is then do something like tag junk, right? Let's say I'm playing on my Titan today. We would click on the Titan, go down to the transfer search tag junk, and then move all the junk over to the Titan so that we can dismantle it all when we're playing as our Titan. So that's tip number 1. Now let's put it all together. I'm going to, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to pretend my infusion stuff is my junk stuff. So we're going to do this. We're going to go tag, infuse. Maybe I'm done infusing. I've got all the god rolls I want. I don't want to keep any of this infused. We're going to do bulk tag items, tag as junk, right? So now these are all tagged as junk. You can see they disappeared because tag infuse is what we're searching for, and now nothing is tagged as infused. So we're going to get rid of our search parameters. We're going to go back up to tag junk, just like that. All of these tag junk items are going to become highlighted, and then we're going to move them all to our Titan. But before we do that, let's go back to our bulk tag. Let's unlock them so that we don't need to worry about them being locked when we move them onto the Titan. And then it's going to start unlocking those, but you can actually continue moving your gear while this little wheel is spinning. We're going to choose our Titan, transfer search tag junk, and then watch as Destiny Item Manager works its magic and starts putting all of these junk items onto our Titan, all unlocked, ready to go. Next time I load up my Titan, I can just go to my menu and hold down square and start dismantling all of this extra gear. So a very, very handy feature. This is kind of all 5 tips in one, just moving everything, mass deleting everything, mass tagging everything. So thank you so much for stopping by the video. If you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and then click the bell to be notified when I post more videos. I have a lot of content planned for Destiny 2, including Destiny Item Manager videos, and other things like loadouts and builds for your different characters and classes. And this is all before Shadowkeep. When Shadowkeep drops, a lot is going to be changing about the game, so look forward to a lot of more content then. That's going to be in September. Until the next video, guys, bye for now.